When the world went into lockdown about a year ago, what kind of cook were you? And after a year of cooking now, your own food at home, what kind of cook are you now? What happened? Did you level up your cooking over the past year? Because there are 3 distinct levels of home cooks, each with a specific way to climb up to the next level. I'm going to share them with you and show you how you can level up your cooking on today's Carefree Cooks Code. I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. The Carefree Cooks Code it is. Welcome back, everyone. This is the weekly show for the methods, the techniques, the insights into better food and cooking. We're live every Tuesday at noon Eastern. Still haven't decorated my office yet. We'll get a decent backdrop soon. But if you want to go see some of the past videos, all you have to do is go to facebook.com/chef.todd.moore/videos. Also see our schedule there. Tuesdays at noon, the Carefree Cooks Code. First Wednesday, private study hall for lifetime members, and casual cooking on Saturdays when we get together at noon Eastern as well. And if you want to see what I'm cooking when we're not live, like this was amazing, go to Instagram.com/Chef Todd Moore as well. The story behind this, Heather and I were talking about our trip to Spain, and then I remembered this shrimp in garlic butter, gambas al ajillo, and I just whipped it up because I remembered what it tasted like. But go to Instagram to see how I did it. How do I do it? Well, it's all because I'm a carefree cook. I create my own recipes. I bring my friends and family together, virtually even. I learn every time I cook. I create my own cooking style when I don't follow someone else's written instructions. And it's all because I practice pro methods, and I really wind up loving my cooking. Hey everyone, I'm so glad we're back together again on a Tuesday, another episode of the Carefree Cooks Code. I so look forward to doing these things. I continue to do the show even though I'm not even unpacked and the wall behind me is blank. There are boxes over here and over there. Okay, so, but I cannot break my commitment. I continue to want to fulfill a promise that I made to myself and a promise that I made to you as well, that I would spend every Tuesday for the foreseeable future sharing everything I possibly know about food and cooking and giving it to you. And I'm not even close to done to sharing everything I know about food and cooking. And you know that often expands into Saturday afternoons where we do the casual cooking segment together. They're a lot of fun for me. I like having people watch me make mistakes. It's always fun. But it's Tuesdays at noon that I feel like we have the best opportunity to change your thinking about your cooking, not just your cooking. It sounds like a conundrum, but if you change your thinking about your cooking, you will change your cooking, right? And that's why, if you're here on Tuesdays, you are an especially smart carefree cook because you're absorbing the concepts behind cooking, the skills, the methods that really help your cooking. You're not just asking me what the best set of pots and pans are. That doesn't solve your cooking. So we're going to level you up today. We're going to see how we can take you to the next level, no matter what level you're at, and get you thinking a little differently about cooking. Then go buy pots and pans if you want. It doesn't matter. Look, I got a true or false for you today. Here's the statement. Tell me in the comments section below, is this statement food true or food false? If you, you should always bring meat to room temperature before cooking. Statement, is it true or is it false? In the comments section below, always bring your meat to room temperature before cooking. Okay, hey, how's everyone doing? You know I've moved, right? I had to get out of the city. People kept asking me, why did you move? Why did you move? I went back to Baltimore to teach at my alma mater. They invited me to teach at the school that I graduated from. Obviously, the whole world has changed. I don't have to do that anymore. So I'm on the northern neck of Virginia now, enjoying the water, enjoying the views, enjoying just a little bit more relaxed life than downtown Baltimore, Maryland. And, you know, so much about life has changed over the past year. All of society has changed over the past year. The way we interact, the items you buy, what you spend your money on, right? All of our routines, all of our habits, they're all different than 12 months ago. And if you don't think that you have changed in the past year, let me ask you just one question. How many hours have you spent in the last year with Netflix or Hulu or any of your virtual friends from Bridgerton or something, some other social channel? How much of your shopping has shifted to online stores? How often is the UPS truck in your driveway compared to a year from now? Your life has changed. You know it has. Your social interaction has changed. Have you been to an online church instead of sitting in a pew? Have you only seen your friends and family through Zoom? I mean, look at me. I was an avid concert goer. I love music. I love rock and roll. And I've been to 46 Stephen Page basement concerts in a row every single Saturday, 46 of them since last April or so. I used to go to concerts in a concert venue and get charged $10 for beer and get frisked. But now I just sit in my living room. It's an improvement. And it seems everybody now is able to work from home. Nobody has to go to an office building anymore. So going forward, how is entertainment going to change? How will retail stores change? How will churches and concerts and gatherings change? How will family dynamics change? And I mean, with so many changes swirling around us, some may not adapt, and some things may disappear entirely. Other people, other businesses, other groups, other activities will figure out how to meet these new challenges. They will overcome it. They will need to level up. They need to climb to the next level of whatever they do and make it work in a changed world. That's what you need to do too. So how will everyone meet this challenge and use this opportunity to climb up to the next level? I'm going to pose the same question to you because your cooking is already changing. You know it has because so much of your life has changed. To start with, you are cooking. You're doing more cooking. Maybe you're cooking almost every night of the week, and think about it. That is a change in itself. Not just because you're a beautiful stock photo model who evidently is married to another beautiful stock photo model, and you went out and bought matching aprons, and you can never stop smiling because now all you got to do is cook your food at home. That's the worst picture. I should not have chosen that stock photo. Those people, they're just way too beautiful. But anyway, despite that, it presents a challenge and an opportunity to all of us. Not only to be as beautiful as some of the most beautiful stock photo models we've ever seen, but I think you should take this time to see where you are. Where are you in your own personal culinary journey? Take this time to say, what are my strong points? What have I developed over the past year that I don't have to worry about anymore? What cooking skills do you really enjoy? Which of the methods do you really dig? Which ones do you hate? Which ones could you do blindfolded over and over again? And then is there something on the flip side that constantly frustrates you? Take an inventory, because it seems to me that you might have a little bit of extra time in your kitchen. Or any other room of your house. But how you spend that extra time and which room of your house you spend it in can make a big difference in how you continue to level up your cooking. So let's see, you could return to your living room and you could spend more time with Netflix and more time with Hulu and things like that. But there's going to be a different outcome for you than if you spend more time in your kitchen taking your skills up to the next level. So step one is to identify your strengths. Congratulate yourself for being so good at whatever it is you think you're good at. Take a minute, pause, enjoy that. But at the same time, you got to be aware of your weaknesses. Resolve to turn those weaknesses into strengths in the future. And that's what I mean by level up. Turn your weaknesses into strengths. It simply means solving an issue that's been holding you back. It means getting around a roadblock. It means progressing further than where you are right now. I'll tell you a story I know I've told before, but maybe not everyone has heard it. When I was a kid, I was a hockey player. I was a pretty good hockey player. I was captain of the team, wore the C on my chest, but I believed that I owed all my hockey talent to Campbell's cream of shrimp soup. It was this condensed cream of shrimp soup. I ate it before every game because I thought somehow it had the perfect combination of nutrition. Shrimp is what really gives you nutrition that gives you energy to play. And the days that I ate the soup, I scored more goals. The days that I didn't. So it was all attached to this can of soup. Heat it up, add some milk, and I'm like Popeye eating his spinach, right? Glug, 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 down with the soup, score, score, score. And I put these two things together. Now, the soup was convenient, but I was starting to get a little bit more curious about how I could make it better, right? Creep. I call this curiosity creep. So this condensed soup that I just added milk to, I added a piece of Kraft cheese product. You know, the slices, they melt really easily. Add a piece of cheese, melted American cheese in the soup. Now, I know that sounds like something a teenager who knows nothing about cooking would do, but I liked it. And I scored an extra goal that day. So it must have been the cheese, right? From convenience, just not even caring, to a little bit of curiosity how I could make it better. That's leveling up. And then when I decided the soup needed some fresh shrimp, I added fresh shrimp to it and I leveled it up. Then I thought a dash of heavy cream, a little bit of Old Bay, playing with the seasonings, adding a little bit dill, garnishing with some cooking sherry. Eventually, I was so many levels away from that original can of soup that I created something entirely new. Campbell's cream of shrimp soup was just the base for the soup that I had created. And many years later, when I graduated from culinary school and I learned how to make a true shrimp stock, when I learned how to make a real bisque, when I knew how to create a roux and make compound flavors in milk, at this point, I'm looking so far down the staircase behind me. I'm looking so far behind me at how many levels I have added to my skills ever since a 15-year-old hockey player placed some kind of mythical belief on a stupid can of soup. It's leveling up. It's becoming so curious, from adding a slice of American cheese to a condensed soup to becoming a culinary college professor, a certified culinary educator, and the proud leader of our Carefree Cooks community. That's a lot of levels over about a 43-year period. So the first thing we have to do now is identify which level of cook you are. Let's put you on a lineup, guys behind the one-way glass, and let's identify what type of cook you are right now. All right, so let me give you three of them. The first is the convenience cook. The convenience cook is the one that most often uses frozen foods. They're the ones that most often use convenience items. They use packaged ingredients. They just really need to heat things up most of the time, but that's okay. I'm not casting on anybody here. Their primary focus is getting the meal finished. The eating part. They want to get the eating part done as quickly as possible. Everything else is in their way, and that's okay. There are thousands, if not millions, of people that eat this way, convenience foods, because their favorite tool is a microwave. They are a chronic microwaver. And the convenience cook might have a few meals that they can throw together, usually family recipes that, they've been eating forever, but that's okay because these meals are safe. They're comfortable. They're convenient, right? And it's all about this safe, comfort, convenience for the convenience cook. But this type of cook spends more money on food than any other kind of cook, and yet they enjoy it less than any other kind of cook. The convenience cook is always bemoaning another Indian microwave dish. what this kind of cook should do to step up to the next level, it's really simple. They just need to focus on the 4 effects of heat on food. This is the way I introduce people to cooking. When you understand what happens when you cook something, and then you become more proficient at just one basic cooking method. Just pick one and do it over and over again. That's the key to learning, the repetition, right? And I normally recommend the 9 steps in the basic sauté method to start. Because to me, that's where I've started everyone. Every culinary college class, every class in my cooking school, web cooking classes basically starts that way. So 9 steps in sauté solves just about everything. But you could pick grilling if you want. You could pick braising or steaming. It doesn't really matter which cooking method you pick. But start cooking the same way over and over again. Just use different ingredients each time. That's the way to start progressing to the next level. You go from convenience cook to just repeating one method, even if it's just steaming something, even if it's grilling something. But the convenience cook, they will step up because this is not sustainable, especially in our environment today. Eventually, the convenience cook is going to get bored. You're going to get bored with the same meals. You're going to realize the health effects of all these processed foods. And I think the convenience cook is just going to get tired of spending too much money on food. And they're going to start to wonder. And I've seen this because I've turned convenience cooks into curious cooks. I've seen it hundreds of times. They start to wonder what they are trading for this convenience. Am I trading more money? Am I trading more time? Am I trading enjoyment? What are you trading for this convenience? And when you do that, you start to get very curious, just like my cream of shrimp soup, and you become the second type of cook. You're the curious cook now. This person has developed a genuine interest in cooking, but yet they can recognize their skill gaps. And for me as an instructor, I love people that recognize their skill gaps because they know there's a need. Those that don't see it can't be helped until they do. But what normally happens to the curious cook is that they make a mistake, right? They take a recipe or a dish that a few times comes out, things that they've made before, they make again, and now it comes out crazy. But here's the thing, it's great, right? You screwed it up. I see these posts all the time. Looks terrible, bad photo, tasted delicious. That's all that really matters, right? So when it comes out crazy like never before, that's great, and you love your mistake. Has that ever happened to you? I make a mistake bread. I have it in my book. I wrote it down. It's called mistake bread. Many years ago, I was proofing a loaf of bread. I forgot about it. All the yeast died. It got flat and dense, but I baked it off anyway, and it was so flavorful, I started overproofing my bread. The mistake became something I wanted to do. It's the mistake that is so often the fuel for motivation. Look at the mistakes you made and know that that's the road to making it great in the future. If you start wondering what you did differently this time that gave such a different result, you're on the road to curiosity. That's when you start looking at the hows and whys of cooking. I love curious cooks. They're right in the middle. They are my peeps, curious cooks. These are the people that are fighting. They're fighting for their freedom in cooking. They start to cook with a wider variety of foods. They start moving away from the frozen food section because their primary focus is to be able to depend on their cooking. They are seeking more consistent results at this point. They start to perfect and even expand upon those few family meals. Remember the ones they were making before? They weren't even thinking about it. Well, now they're thinking about how they can make them better. And that's why the curious cook is the antsiest, right? They are the antsiest cook. And they start spending less money on food. They start spending more time in the kitchen. And this type of middle cook, they spend the most time of any cook in the kitchen because they're trying to figure it all out. It's like spending time in the library before you get your PhD, right? So this frustration starts to develop with recipes now. Curious cooks start to realize that the recipes have been screwing them up all this time, all the limitations, all the constraints, all being told what to cook and how to cook it by somebody who wrote a book. They get tired of this and they start to trade their convenience. They realize they have traded that convenience in the past for servitude. They want their freedom at this point. Curiosity and freedom is what the curious cook wants. And to step up to the next level, to be more excited about their cooking, they want to remove the hit and miss factor. They want to develop a tremendous sense of pride that comes from cooking for yourself and cooking for others. And I normally recommend for the curious cook who's probably good at saute, good at roasting, maybe good at steaming, things like that, I normally recommend combination cooking methods to the curious cook. Braising and stewing, searing and poaching. They're great combinations that show you the effects of heat on food and how to make something really nice and brown while making it flavorful and moist. And the good thing about the combination cooking for the curious cooks, the reason I recommend it is because it calls for patience. That's something they normally don't have. Now's the time to develop a little bit more patience in your cooking. And the curious cook's creativity is emerging. They're exploding with ideas. They're figuring it out and they want to apply it to every food item they see, every international cuisine they see, every takeout food they have ever tasted. They want to recreate it, and that's when you become the creative cook. And this is a cook who is so much more confident in how to cook. They've figured out that cooking is not about recipes. Cooking is about methods. And at this point, they got themselves a nice little toolbox of cooking methods that they can count upon, not cooking recipes. They don't own tons of books anymore. Most of these types of cooks have gotten rid of their books. The creative cook is starting to see the entire process of cooking as a fun and enjoyable way to improve their relationships, their health, and their well-being. They're starting to take those few basic dishes that they had when they were a convenience cook, and they are really updating them with new ingredients and new creativity. And another thing that is so touching that emerges when people get to kind of this creative cook level, their generosity emerges as well. People who love to cook, people who are proud of their cooking, they always seem to want to share it. These are the people that are cooking for neighbors. These are the people that are helping others during a difficult time. These are the ones that jump in with their cooking. And the main question on the creative cook's mind is, how can I go even further? How can I make it even better? The creative cook starts to venture out on their own. The creative cook now has an individual cooking style, right? You could tell who cooked this dish. The creative cook has confidence to create instead of following directions or just cooking. And the creative cook loves it. Just finds cooking fun and rewarding and a puzzle to figure out and loves the compliments. Loves the pride and compliments, the creative cook. So you have the pride of creating your own cooking mark on the world. On your family or friends, at least you blend world styles and foods into something uniquely your own. And this type of cook, they spend the least money on food by far because they prefer their cooking. They grocery shop wisely because they're confident that they can cook anything. They buy less. They only buy what they cook and they cook only what they buy. We talk about this all the time. But my suggestion to someone who's already a creative cook who wants to step up to the next level is to study soups, stocks, and sauces. Seasonings as well. So look, if you can perform 9 or 10, 8 out of 10 basic cooking methods confidently, then really the best way to level up your cooking as a creative cook is with sauces. Learn a variety of sauces so that every one of those creative dishes that you've made, if you can then make 10 sauces, now you got 100 dishes, right? Add each sauce to each dish, and herbs and spices. Because the next level for the creative cook, skilled in methods, prideful and curious, is to be a little bit more adventurous, is to be a little bit more fearless in your cooking. That's something we're going to talk about another time shortly. So this whole level 5 cook, let's call them, this top of where you want to be in your cooking, it's a magical spot. I'm telling you, we have quite a few of them in our community. And if you don't feel that you're there, then identify what's holding you back and ask them to help you fix it. They've been there before. We got 17, 18,000 Carefree Cooks in our group. And you can tell who they are. All you got to look at as their food photos. Not huge differences, small differences that make a big effect. It's obvious if you're in our community. And look, again, there's no such thing as a bad cook and a good cook. I'm not judging here. If you're a convenience type cook and you love it, you're happy with that, that's great. Good for you. Because I always say, if it's good to you, then it's good, right? But you do have an opportunity here. You do have an opportunity to level up your cooking a little bit. I mean, even if you're a convenience cook, if you ever wanted to make bread, moves you a little further along, right? If you're buying frozen pizzas, how about one thing? Did you ever want to learn how to make your pizza crusts? Moving a little bit, leveling up, right? Maybe you're into knives. You want to learn how to use your knife skills to break down a whole chicken. Maybe you start looking at a poaching cooking method. You like eggs in the morning. Is this the time to figure out how to make a perfectly poached egg? Just one thing. Are you wondering about herbs and spices and combinations and ethnic spice teams? Maybe you've always wanted to make your own pasta and ravioli. Maybe the time is now not to figure it all out, but figure one thing out. And once you level yourself up to the perfect poached egg, I bet you're going to come to me for hollandaise sauce, because then you're going to want to make eggs Benedict. You've always tried to figure that out. Now you're 2 levels up, right? I mean, is there a real desire? Think about this yourself. Is there a real desire in your gut to make a real macaroni and cheese for your kids instead of opening the box? Look into compound butters and fats. Do you want to start baking pies and cookies? Do you want to start making your own frosting instead of buying it in a can? There is an endless amount you can accomplish if you use this time to level up your cooking. Not learn everything, maybe just learn one thing. And again, we're not trying to tell you that you got to be a certified culinary educator to enjoy your cooking. You just have to like Campbell's cream of shrimp soup and put a slice of American cheese in it. That made me so happy. I knew nothing about cooking, but it made me happy. But if you spend the next month, the next few months, if you look into conquering that one thing that you've always wondered about, and once you do, then you can take it along with you to the next level of cook that you will be. That's the great thing about leveling up. You always bring that level with you to the next level. Let's see what's going on in our Carefree Cooks community. I want you to know I've been watching you. I have been watching you. If you're a lifetime member of web cooking classes, if you're posting your photos in our private Facebook community, I have seen how you've been leveling up your cooking, and I'm proud of you. I'm busy with unpacking and stuff, but I'm in there checking things out. People like Lucy. I've seen Lucy leveling up her cooking. She doesn't make just a plain old chicken dish anymore. This is her lemon chicken en papillote. En papillote. Baked in parchment paper, that means. Nice. An extra level from your basic chicken. Charlotte made her first ever vegetable broth. If it's a first for you, then that's a level up from where you were. Charlotte says, I can't believe how easy it was. And now she has this flavorful liquid from the scraps in her freezer to make sauces with, steam items with, and so on. Maureen made chili on a cold and windy day, she said. She says, a year ago, I would have been searching for online recipes. Today, I search the pantry and the fridge. Thank you, Chef Todd, she says. That is a level up for sure. Nicely done, Maureen, cooking from the pantry. Denise brought her cooking a level up as well by making her own cheese sauce for mac and cheese. She used cheddar, Gruyere, and goat cheese. But that wasn't enough for Denise. No. Perfect cheese sauce, not enough. She added lobster. She added scallops. Was she done? Still not done. She added Creole seasoning. Give it a little sauce. After all of this leveling up, She rated herself only an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a great dish. That just means there are 2 more levels for you to seek out, Denise. That's great. Hey, look, everybody, you can do this no matter where, no matter what you feel that you need to take your cooking up to the next level. We've got a very kind and generous community of more than 17,000 people who didn't know what you don't know until they started asking the questions that you are not asking. Okay, they got curious, then they got creative, and then they got carefree. And that's why we're the Carefree Cooks, reaching for the next level every time we cook. Let's go back to today's true or false. You should always bring meat to room temperature before cooking. No. Huge false. Huge false. I know grandma did this and maybe she got better beef from the butcher or whatever. The key here is temperature danger zone. The temperature danger zone is between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 Fahrenheit, or 4 Celsius to 40 Celsius, something like that. Anyway, that's where bacteria grows most quickly. Don't leave things out at room temperature. Defrost in the refrigerator. Don't leave your steak out unless you're rewarding your dog. But don't give your dog steak either. Hey, look, if you know someone who needs to recognize the opportunity that's right in front of their face to level up their cooking, to be the cook they always wanted to be, please like, love, share this video with your friends. And really, one of the best ways to become the next level of cook you always wanted to be is add more variety to your cooking. Don't get stuck in the same rut of the same things over and over again. I can show you how to bring more than 5 times more variety and 5 times more flavor into your cooking by using just one powerful pro kitchen practice. Go to webcookingclasses.com/5times to register for my latest free online class. So until next Tuesday, noon Eastern Time, this is Chef Todd Moore reminding you that there's a method to reach the next level of your cooking success. Bye, everyone.